Joining me now is Anthony Chan. He's the former chief economist at JP Chase. Anthony, China has managed to really kind of navigate the pandemic well. Last year, of course, it had some hiccups with energy issues at one point. And of course, COVID continues to be a wild card with outbreaks popping up here and there. Where do you see the issues in this new year, and where are the opportunities?
I think the opportunities are with the rest of the world opening up, and in fact, economic growth remaining fairly robust around the world. It is occurring to the point where central banks are now finding the need to start normalizing their monetary policies because the economies have reached or getting very close to full employment. So there are great opportunities on the export side. And of course, as China continues to make progress with the virus, COVID, and hopefully with Omicron, you'll also be able to see that consumer spending will normalize, because over the last year or so, we've seen the manufacturing sector doing better, but the consumer side, or the consumer spending, has still lagged to some extent. My hope and expectation is that over the next 12 to 18 months, we'll see progress on that front too.
Anthony, obviously, it's been a while since I've been back to China, but I have to say, when I was there, the buzzword was always innovation. We just saw this piece on the ports. You know, China has this very forward-looking trajectory, talks of 5G, AI, robotics. Are they still the economic priorities for 2022, do you think?
Oh, I think there are certainly those priorities. China has made great progress. When you look back at 1978, you had about 97.5% of the rural population living below the poverty line. When you look at the population today of the Chinese economy, less than 1% is living under poverty. And in fact, since Xi Jinping took over in 2012, we've seen over 100 million people lifted out of poverty. So that could not take place unless they were at the forefront of innovation and improvements in technology. And that will continue, because that seems to be an important goal for China, to continue to modernize, or as they call it, social modernization, socialism modernization.
And green investments also key as the country continues to try and meet its climate change goals. Talk to us about how that factors into the economic outlook.
Well, remember that the entire world is moving towards harmonizing itself with the climate. And of course, China has their own term for that, improvements or harmony with nature. So the greenization of the Chinese economy is certainly part of it. And that's one of the reasons why you're seeing so much green investment. That is consistent with what the rest of the world wants, but it's also consistent with faster economic growth, because that is the future for the global economies, and certainly the future for China. And China certainly will play an important role in this on this front.
Anthony, can't let you go without asking you about RCEP. I mean, this big trade deal, it's another indicator that China's opening up and continuing to promote globalization. What kind of an impact will that have? Is it going to be kind of gradual, or will we start to see an impact in 2022, do you think?
I think we'll start to see an impact in 2022, but remember, a lot of those tariffs are going to be going away, but it's certainly over a 10 to 20-year period. So this is the beginning of a long-term process, and will allow China to be able to diversify its production, get more efficiencies, because they will be able to utilize lower cost labor in other countries, diversify the supply chain, so and certainly make them less dependent on just one or two countries, because now they're going to be trading with all these countries, 10 countries so far, and more countries certainly to join moving forward. So this is an exciting time that China will experience, certainly over the next decade, with RCEP, and hopefully other countries will get the message, and they will start thinking about joining the party. We know that for the time being, India is taking a pass, but I'm not sure if over the next 5 years they'll feel that way. They may decide to take a second look at this regional trade agreement and think about joining.
Anthony, always a pleasure talking to you. Thanks so much for your insights.